Did you know elderly people over 60 can barely rent a place in China? A real estate agent who posts videos on Douyin shared a true story. A 63-year-old man came to him looking for a rental home. Every landlord turned him down immediately once they heard his age. He was rejected 7 times in total. Now let's hear what netizens who are real-life landlords have to say. One person says, I'm 35 years old and still don't have a house. I'm so scared. I will have nowhere to live in the future. Another person asks, is there an age limit for renting a place? Another replies, if you are over 60, it's basically impossible to rent a place. A netizen says, people who say buying a house isn't worth it and want to rent for their whole lives will also face this problem when they get old. One landlord shares their own story. They had an old apartment and rented it to an elderly person out of pity. Later, the elderly person passed away from cancer inside the house. After that, the apartment stayed vacant for a long time. Whenever potential renters came to view it, neighbors would tell them someone had died there. Another landlord feels helpless. They're afraid of family members will sue them if an elderly person dies in their house. As ordinary families, they can't afford to take on such responsibilities. A different user shares their experience. They tried to rent a place for their parents, but the landlord refused once they found out. A person from Beijing shared an unspoken rule in the local rental market. In Beijing, people over 60 can barely rent a place. One comment says, I'm unmarried and have no kids. I'm planning to buy a house now because I'm afraid I will face this situation later in life. Another property owner says, I'd rather leave my apartment empty than rent it out. In our area, there have been several cases where elderly tenants passed away and their families asked for tens of thousands in compensation. One user shared the experience. I had a tenant in their 60s who lived in my place for more than 10 years. He passed away at my house last summer. The next morning, the neighbors smelled an odd odor and called the police. The door was locked from the inside, so the fire department had to break in. We then waited for the forensic doctors and the hearse, and everything wasn't wrapped up until past 5 in the afternoon. I will never forget that terrible smell. Now, whenever I walked past vendors selling fresh chilled fish at the market,